Get back in the seat. Put your seatbelt on. You're gonna turn on your ignition. You don't need to turn on the engine. You're gonna open the window, and you're gonna ask the examiner to please move to the front of the bus outside so you can demonstrate your lights. So your headlights will activate your clearance lights. Also activate your tail lights in the back. All right. Use your outside voice or your dad voice. Right. You're gonna shout out headlights, clearance lights, left turn signal, right turn signal, high beams, hazards. And then you're gonna ask the tester to walk to the back of the bus. Tester walk to the back of the bus. You guys will lock eyes. Clearance lights, tail lights, left turn signal, right turn signal, four ways, brakes. Just hit the surface brake. Turn off the ignition. And then exit the bus using 3 points of contact. Got the front of the bus. Some of this stuff you're not going to be able to see. Don't worry, I'll explain what some of this stuff looks like afterwards, right? So we got the front of the bus. Clearance lights, indicators, headlights, high beams, fog lights. All my lenses are clean, not missing or damaged. They're the proper color for their location. You can even go a step further. Clearance lights and indicators are amber. Headlights, clearance lights, fog lights are clear. So all my lights and lenses are clean, not missing or damaged, proper color for their location. All right? Side of the bus. So it's gonna get a little tight. Actually, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Slide down here. Check my mirror bracket the same as I did on the inside. As long as you set it right on this side, that's all you gotta say. For my side lights, I'm gonna check my lights and lenses the same as I did the front. Clearance lights and reflectors are amber in the front, the red in the back. You see the last clearance light up there is red, and the last reflector down there is red. The indicators are amber, corner lights are clear. All right, my steering system. The steering box is about right here. Here on out, you're pointing and touching the part. My steering box is securely mounted. It's not damaged, it's not leaking. My steering hoses are not worn, frayed, cracked, or damaged, and there's no leaks. My steering linkage, the links, arms, and rods from the box to the wheel are not worn or cracked. The joints and sockets are not worn or loose. And there's no missing nuts, bolts, or cotter pins, or cotter keys, as it says on the paper. The suspension. The bus is sitting level from front to back and side to side. The shock absorber, which you can't see, so you just point behind the tire, is securely mounted, it's not damaged, it's not leaking. The airbag and mounting bracket, point behind the tire, securely mounted, not damaged, the airbag has no leaks. Brake system. The brake hose, clamps, and fittings, just point behind the tire. All this stuff you can't see, right? Clamps and fittings are tight and secure. The hose is not worn, frayed, cracked, or damaged. There's no leaks. Supplies air to the chamber. The brake pad and drums, you see the brake drum in there. No contaminants such as oil or grease. Make sure you say contaminants. All right. For the axle, the tire, which you can see, I have a minimum tread depth of 4/32 in the front, 2/32 in the back tires. In all the major grooves, I would use a tread depth gauge. The tread is evenly worn. My duals are even in diameter. There's no bulges, bumps, cuts, or any other damage to the sidewall or the tread. There's no exposed body plies. The tire is properly inflated, and I would use a tire pressure gauge. And there's no leaks. The valve stem and cap is accessible. It's not damaged. It's not broken or damaged, and the cap is tight. The rim, not bent, cracked, or damaged. There's no welding repairs. There's no rust trails. There's no, the bolt holes are right here. These are not bolt holes. I actually had somebody pointing to these on their test. The tester was like, where's the bolt holes? These are just for ventilation, right? Bolt, lug nuts and bolts, these are the holes. Are not elongated or distorted, and there's no missing nuts or bolts. The lug nuts are all present and secure. There's no signs of looseness, such as rust trails or shiny threads. So if the bolt is too loose, it might oxidize, right? And you might see streaks of rust, or you'll see the thread that's been covered up the whole time, nice and shiny, not like this, all corroded and picked up with dust and dirt and all the stuff, right? And there's no broken studs. None of these are broken, all right? Frame and cross member, it's gotta go like this. Not cracked, broken, or damaged. There's no broken welds, there's no holes. And the cargo floor area, you just point right over here near the luggage door, not cracked, broken, or damaged, no holes. You don't have to open up the door or anything like that. For the fuel tank, cap is tight and secure. The tank is securely mounted to the frame. It's not damaged, and there's no leaks. And at this point, I will go through my checklist, right? Check off everything you need to say. The checklist is not going to be in order of this bus. It's more often than not, the buses are front engine buses, right? We have a rear engine bus. So the stuff on the checklist still has everything you need to talk about, just may not be in the order that we actually go, because we do the engine last, all right? So I'll go and check off suspension, check off brake system, check off axles, tires, whatever else it says. Now we're gonna walk to the rear of the bus. I'm going to check on my lights and lenses the same as I did the front and side. Alright? Just for shits and giggles. Clearance lights, indicators, tail lights, brake lights, reverse lights, reflectors. At this point, you shouldn't need to call them out. If they ask, at least you know what to say. But just say I checked my lights and lenses the same as I did the front and side. I'm going to look on the ground for fluid puddles. Alright? Make sure you stay on the ground. Then you're going to open the hood. You're going to look underneath my engine and transmission, right? Here's the engine block for fluid drips and leaks. Just because you don't see nothing on the ground doesn't mean you don't have a leak. Maybe it didn't make it its way to the ground yet. Or some engines have a pan underneath, right, to catch spills. My engine hoses are in good condition. They're not worn, frayed, cracked, or damaged. And there's no fluid leaks in the hoses or air leaks in the air lines. So over here is your air compressor. Everything connected to it is an air line. You wouldn't be able to tell that you have a leak in it unless you visibly saw a crack, because the engine's not running. All right, for my fluid, I got my oil. It even says engine oil. Got my coolant. It even says coolant. My power steering fluid over there, all between the add and full line. You don't need to say transmission fluid. They're not going to give you extra any points if you do, but they're not going to dock you if you do say it. But technically, you don't have to mention the transmission fluid. All right? Shut the engine. And close the bike rack. For the passenger side, I'm going to check the passenger side the same as I did the driver's side, with the following exceptions. I'm going to check my def cap and tank the same as I did my fuel cap and tank. My battery and battery box are secure. The cables and connections are not frayed, cracked, or damaged. They're all tight and there's no excessive corrosion. You don't have to open up the door. All right? That's it. Let's come to the front real quick. That's the whole thing right there? The whole thing. Not easy when I had to do it. Like, you have to say everything. Oh man, nah, but there was like, this is like a third of what you had to say. Yeah. So lucky you guys. Maybe some of you class A, depending on what you got, when you got it, probably had to say a lot more. All right, so again, I can't stress it enough. Use your checklist. At least try it out. Like, if it ain't helping you, then don't worry about it. But At least you can check things off so you don't forget a whole section. Right? If you can remember like the steering system, hopefully by the time you test, you remember everything you need to say about the steering system. Check off the brakes so you don't miss all those points on the brakes. Should be able to know what the brakes are by that time, right?